He's made it in his chosen line of work.
He killed a symbol
Yeah.
of the 1%, the famous talk show host.
Played well by Robert De Niro.
Sure.
It's always nice when he shows up in a movie and tries. Still happens sometimes.
But then they make him, he stands up on top of the cop car or whatever, and he
Starts dancing.
He's enjoying the spotlight.
Yeah.
And that's kind of like what he wanted, and that I think that was played a part with the stand-up comedian. He wanted attention. He wanted to be an entertainer, and it was just all buried beneath layers and layers of crazy, which was all like set free at the end.
Yeah. I will say, even though I had issues with this movie, I liked the third act a lot. I thought the first part was kind of muddled, messy, but I applaud Warner Brothers, who we've had issues with recently, but I applaud them for making a movie that is like a big, wide release movie that is a stripped down, character-driven story. Even if it didn't completely work for me, more movies like this, please.
Do you mean specifically in the comic book realm, or
Just in general, we don't get movies like this. Like, I would have liked this movie more if it wasn't connected to Batman, if it wasn't a Joker movie.
I think, in my opinion, the Kevin Feige Marvel universe under Disney, that's its own thing. I think this artsy DC, it should be the reboot of the entire DC universe. Start from scratch right here, Joker.
Well, we do have to point out that this is because we've complained so much about the Zack Snyder attempt at realistic Superman. This is not that at all. Those movies suck because they're so tone deaf, and because they try to still have the big, over-the-top, like, headache-inducing action. And this movie is closer in line to like the Christopher Nolan stuff a little bit. It's not nearly as good, but it's definitely a lot like grimier, which is interesting. And I want to say this is like lower budget than a lot of these movies, which makes sense because there's not a lot of effects. But if Warner Brothers continue to go this route, like almost like the Blumhouse model, like keep the budgets low, give it to real filmmakers. Although I feel weird calling Todd Phillips a real filmmaker, but
he did a good job though.
He had a vision. He had a vision for this movie. So if they continue with that, I mean, it's good for an audience because you're seeing smaller scale movies. It's good for them because they cost less, so they can make more.
But I think this is a one and done situation. Because how do you do this with Superman?
Well, that's the thing. The minute you have Batman show up,
Yeah.
it'll look ridiculous in this.
Right.
The Christopher Nolan movies always had that problem. They always bordered on ridiculous anytime Batman started talking.
I'm not wearing hockey pads. You'll be in a padded cell forever. I'm pointing the gun to Harvey.
But seeing just the Joker's story alone and the origin of how he became a crazy mastermind, anarchist weirdo, worked pretty much for me. I mean, a couple of more, add some more complexity to the story maybe would have helped. Maybe remove some of the earlier, like, obvious things, but those obvious things, like...
That was a big hurdle for me to get over, was the checkmark stuff.
Once you jump over that hurdle, once they, like, that annoyed me when they revealed that the girlfriend was, when he's in her apartment, and she's like, who are you? Get out. You're that guy from down the hall? And I was like, oh, yeah. But then they show flashbacks, and I was like, oh, yeah.
It works in Fight Club. It doesn't work so well in this movie because it feels like it's, again, obvious. It's hitting you over the head.
Right. I was like, oh, I got it from when she said, aren't you Arthur from down the hall?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my gosh, she was never there.
Yeah.
We didn't need all those flashbacks that showed that she was never there. But the movie itself was pretty solid. I was unexpectedly surprised that I started to enjoy it halfway through. And like you said, it's a different thing. It's a comic book movie mixed with a little character study, and you don't see much of that these days. You're not going to get your Man of Steel action. You're going to get a very, very, very long. Is Joaquin Phoenix in every frame of the movie?
Just about, yeah.
A wonderful role for him, acting his little heart out.
Yeah, it goes right along with his filmography of other movies that are just close-ups of Joaquin Phoenix's face.
So this movie it's such a heartwarmer. I cried 3 times during the course of it.
I don't believe you've ever cried in your life.
half in the bag. Apes in outer space.
Oh God, I think I'm getting seasick.
Excuse me, J-Lo, that's lake sick. We're on Lake Michigan. And from what I can tell, the current has pulled us out pretty far, too.
Oh, whatever. I hate water. That's why I don't bathe.
Ew. Well, don't worry, Jay. This water is much less scary than the ocean. Lake Michigan's deepest point is only 922 feet, which means we're much less likely to drown in water that comparatively shallow. Oh, fuck!
What's this?
It's like being on a Carnival cruise line, just much safer.
Hey, Mike, did you know Mr. Plinkett used to be a hot air balloon pilot? Or racer? Or whatever the fuck you call it?
I did not know that, Jay. I wonder how that'll come into play later.
It's true. It's all true. My secret past as a hot air balloon pilot is finally out. All this damn water, it's flushing out things I hid in my basement years ago. Old photos, cat coffins, thousands of copies of E.T. on Atari.
I wish I was dead. Oh God, I hope the bugs eat me alive.
You know, I think my old hot air balloon is down there too, all folded up. I used to be the best hot air balloon piloteer of all time. Even wanted to branch out into dirigibles. But that career got cut short after the Hindenburg.
Mr. Plinkett, you crashed the Hindenburg?
Oh, no, I just watched. I was the guy yelling, "Oh, the humanity!" Seeing that really scarred me, though. Because of that, I gave up hot air ballooning, and because of Prohibition, I started selling bathtub gin. That's where the real money's at.
Hey, Mike, if we're stranded out on Lake Michigan, how are we gonna watch and talk about movies?
I don't know, Jay. I guess we'll just have to talk about politics and religion instead.
Oh, that reminds me. Oh, God. Here, I paid $9,000 for this. Yeah, I went to buy some booze off of a bootlegger. You know, because Prohibition's still on.
Oh, yeah.
And that jerk on the street ripped me off. I don't know what anybody's supposed to do with that many drink coasters, but enjoy. I'm gonna go take a piss in Lake Michigan. Should make this water cleaner.
Jay, what is that?
It appears to be bootlegs of all the movies that are coming out over the next few months.
No kidding. Well, that's fucking convenient.
Yeah, look.
Interstellar? Oh, that's the new Christopher Nolan movie, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Well, let's watch that one first.
Okay.
I'm sure it's gonna look real good on this TV. You know, I shot it in IMAX.
But we don't have a DVD player.
Look, Jay, a DVD player has also washed up conveniently for us.
Oh, that's really convenient. Now we have a DVD player, so we can play
yeah,
our
now we can
bootleg
watch it
DVD
with
of
Christopher
Interstellar
Nolan.
on
Yeah,
the
we can watch-
TV.
Yeah, we can watch Christopher. Let's just talk about the movies, okay?
Okay.
Potentially habitable worlds right within our reach.
Could save us from extinction.
Here we go.
You can't just think about your family. Now you have to think bigger than that.
Okay.
I am thinking about my family.